Hi there, Lindsay here. Today we're going to do a watercolor. We're going to try, it's been very loud here, and just going to hopefully try to get this painted before the contractors do any more loud stuff. And if not, then we'll have a painting tutorial next week, I guess. I'm going to start off, I'm actually just going to jump right in with the paint because I don't have any time to dilly-dally around. I don't know when the next loud noises are going to be. I'm going to start off with this cobalt teal color. This set is one of the Paul Rubens new watercolor sets. Not that new, it's a few months old. I really like it. I really love this palette, and when I used it the last time, a lot of you guys were like, oh, I wish that palette was, was available on its own because you have enough paint, but you want the palette. See how I put the paints on the corner and then I can drag it over if I want to do a wash of that color, and I got this big mixing area here. You can actually pop that out and move it around if you want to arrange your table differently. Wonderful palette. Well, the palette is now available on its own, and I will link that down below. So I wanted to use that just so I could remember to tell you. I posted it on Facebook when I found out, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody that wanted to know about it knew about it. By the way, we're painting a rooster. It might not be apparent yet, but I'm starting off just by putting in some of the kind of tealy, shiny highlights. Now I'm going to grab some of this phthalo blue here. This brush that I'm using, by the way, is a cat's tongue. It's like an oval wash, but it comes to a nice point. This is a 1/2" Roy Mac Revolution Taklon, and yeah, it's a filbert, or also called the cat's tongue. It's usually called a cat's tongue if you're using it for watercolor, an oval wash if you're using it for like acrylics. So I'm getting this phthalo blue in here. I'm letting it kind of mix and mingle. Hopefully this will give us that kind of iridescent quality. These are the kind of tail feathers. This is real fun to do this without a sketch. I was just kind of like a little overwhelmed today. Because I don't know what anybody else's schedule is. I don't know who's going to be, coming home and when. The dog is freaked out because of the contractor's noises, and I'm trying to, fit my work around everybody else, and it's you can kind of feel you're kind of in limbo all day. So I'm just gonna get the back there sketched in. I think that's all the blue that I really see. Next, I'm gonna go in with some burnt sienna. I like this brush because I can do a real wide stroke, and I can do really gentle light strokes too. I want to bring, ooh, that's pretty when that mixes. I'm going to bring down the shape here, the chest of the bird down into the leg. Bring that up. Oh, this is actually real fun. I need some of this stress relief painting. I'm telling you, really, really did. I needed to just chill and do some painting with my peeps. So hopefully we can get through this. Hopefully if it does get noisy and we just plow ahead, that it's not too annoying. And a little bit in the head. This is kind of behind the eye. What we're going to do right here, bring this, let's bring some little strokes down. Oh, I love it when burnt sienna mixes with like phthalo blue. It just gives you this gorgeous like moss green color. So pretty. The paper I'm using is also by Paul Rubens. These are the paints, tube paints. I really like the tube paints more than the cake paints of Paul Rubens. I generally, for convenience, I like the cake watercolors, and I do like their pan watercolors, but I feel quality-wise their tubes are superior. Get the leg here. This is a nice bright yellow. Not exactly sure what they call this yellow. I call it like a gamboge. Any warm yellow, really. That's a nice transparent one, and the good back fee is up, and then you got this neat little fanning of the toes that I want to get in there. This is, you know what, you really should do some painting where you don't do the sketch first, because it's really freeing. It's really fun. I'm enjoying it. I want to get a little peachiness into that foot. I think I'll grab, I'm looking for what other reds I'm going to want. I think I'm going to want like kind of a crimson color, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that because I know I'll use it elsewhere. Let's bring some of that out into the, bring a little wash out into the palette area because I don't want that. Tap off some excess, mix it in there, maybe add a little bit of burnt sienna. That's just about what I want right there. Add some of that to the bottom of the feet, let it blend in, and definitely get some up here. We used to have chickens. They really have crazy personalities. They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of work though. And I'm telling you what, free range organic eggs are a bargain. After raising chickens, I'm like, yep, those farmers deserve every penny if they're raising their chickens right. It's a lot of work. Okay, I like that. Oh, I kind of could add some little dabs of that up in there. Get some yellow in there too. I try to incorporate any color that I use in various places back to that gamboge yellow color because it makes your work, it makes it harmonize better. All right, let's go back into the crimson here. Let's do the comb. I like brushes like this where you can get a lot of expressive strokes. It's kind of effortless. As long as you trust yourself when you're putting the strokes down, as long as you don't fuss. Let's place the eye. Then we can bring that red back a little bit, and then we can get some yellow to do our beak and our ear area. I don't want to have a lot of water in my yellow, so I'm going to grab it from the dry cake. You can probably see that down in the tiny corner there. I just want to do a little mark for the beak. Let's get the little ear area in there. And we can do a little bit of the eye, which we'll need to refine a little bit. I want a little bit more red, a little bit drier, thicker. Not really thicker, but more intense, and I want to round out this shape a little bit. Probably supposed to be a certain amount of points on that comb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6. So let's see. What can I do? What can I combine? Oh, I didn't really leave them well so I could combine any. So I guess they are what they are. I've got a... Well, maybe I can combine those. So then I have an appropriate amount. I don't know if there's like an appropriate amount. They've got a certain... Probably is. I guess I really didn't pay too much attention during my chicken raising years. Oh well. We got the number of the one in the reference photo anyway. I'll link that reference photo down below. It's from Pixabay. Need a little bit more of that. I want a little bit more concentrated red in here. Okay, there's a really nice, interesting textured background in this piece. I'm not sure if I will get all that texture, but I'm going to try. So, let's see. Let's start off with our most earthy color we've used so far. That would be the burnt sienna. Let's grab that up. Let's add some of the cobalt teal to that because that's a pretty granulating blue, and I think it can counteract with the orange a bit, the orangey brown that we have. Let's see what we get there. Ooh, that's a really pretty neutral. I like that. Okay, let's get that kind of on the ground. I'm not going to go too crazy with the background. Let's see. I want a little bit of purple in there, so I'm going to grab some of that red. Oh gosh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, I like that. And we'll just put a little bit of this kind of like purple shadowy color back there. Having fun with this brush. This is just what I needed today. Do you have days like that? It's like, oh. Paint, take me away. Like, Calgon, take me away, but it's like, paint. It's better than retail therapy because, you know, you don't spend any money. Unless you have to go buy paint, then I can't help you because that's fun too. But I bet you got something you can work with. Even if you don't have this, even if you don't have watercolor, you can do a different type of media. I generally put my backgrounds in first. So this is a little weird for me to do it in this order, but we'll make it work. Let's mix some more colors together. I don't want to do too much next. I like how the bird just kind of stands out there. So I'll just do a little flicking to help marry the background that I painted on the bottom, to help it kind of like integrate into what's happening with the top of the page, which is just white, basically. I want to get some of that cobalt teal into the mix because that's such a pretty color, and it granulates so nice, so if you have puddles of it, it just does really pretty things. Get some movement here with our paint, get some interesting flowing. I can't believe it's quiet. Oh, I probably shouldn't have just said that. I'm just gonna jinx it, aren't I? Maybe flick a little yellow. I don't want to flick any red just because I don't want it to look like blood, so you do have to kind of worry about or think about that, like with the colors you flick, what's it going to represent? You know, where blue might be water, brown might be sand, but if you do red, that might give you an unintended effect. Okay, let's add a little texture with paper towel, and then we'll let some of it just kind of blend out. All right, let's hit this with the heat tool. We are 11 minutes in. We've got some progress happening. That's good. Actually, and I'm going to blot off these speckles on top of the rooster. Strutting around. So between blotting and drying it with like a heat tool, you can speed along your process. The only time you want to avoid drying with the heat tool is if you're trying to get like a granulation effect or a sedimentary effect, especially, you know, if you have like really, really soupy washes and you want that paint to kind of settle out, it'd be a great time just to let it air dry. I'm going to pause this because there's a really loud machine happening outside, and when we come back this will be dry and we can do our final layer. I think it'd be fun to see what sort of detail we could actually get from this brush, so we're going to keep doing the painting with this 1/2" cat's tongue brush. I'm going to go into the yellow, that kind of gamboge color, just with the tip of the brush, so it just needs to be wet enough so that the brush will hold a point. And I'm just going to redraw in the beak. Hopefully I'm not leaning into the frame. If I am, you can see my hood, for my sweatshirt hood, I'm pretty sure. And I'm just going to hit the legs a little bit there. Okay, now I'm going to make some purple. Blot my brush off there. I'm going to do my, that same red I used for the comb. I'm going to add some of the, ooh, that's strong, some phthalo blue to it. Just want to have enough water in it so that it flows and I get the color that I want, but I want to do some shadows under the comb. I also want to put some of this in the tail, so I think I'll go ahead and do that now because I have way more on my brush than I need. So I'll get some of those purple colors. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, love that color. It's like a bright eggplant color. Isn't that nice? And we can also put some expressive lines over the back feathers. You can throw some expressive lines in here. And there's like some little spotting that we can put in there. So pretty. Okay, now we're going to just go around. I'm just going to kind of draw in the bottom of the comb. And I want to get the, I guess this is the wattle down here. Pay no attention to the banging, if you can hear that. It's a ghost of Christmas past. Alright. Gonna add a little bit of accent on the edges of the wattle and comb too. And that might be a nice color to do the around the eyes as well, because it's nice and dark. I could definitely do the pupil there. I hope nobody's listening with headphones. They're going to be like, someone's at my door, someone's knocking. I'm not going to do too much more than that, because I think that that's a little, maybe a little too big to be able to put too many real strong, tiny darks in there. Okay, now let's grab some of the, let's see, we could do, oh, actually, let's make us a nice vibrant green. I'm going to take this gamboge and take some of that phthalo blue, gorgeous color, isn't it? And we're going to just throw a little bit of color in there too, because I do notice that we can do a little bit. It's a really colorful, beautiful rooster. I don't want to cover up everything in my wash because I like a lot of that. It is just, guess that crazy noise in my studio today. Yeah. It's real life, people. It's real life. It's not a fancy home and garden TV show. It's reality crafty TV. And there's drama, just like regular reality TV. Forget Real Housewives. I got my own drama. What would a craft reality TV show be like? That would be funny. I don't know. I mean, because you know the stuff that's on, like, the kind of like the craft competitions, they're all kind of staged, you know. It doesn't seem like it's, but I mean, what would like a real like crafty reality show be like? That would be something to see. I'm gonna grab some of this burnt sienna. That also is really pretty with the phthalo blue, and throw some stabs of that color in. Grab some of the burnt sienna on its own. This is kind of fun. It almost reminds me of like something you'd see like on a t-shirt, you know, because it's just kind of, or a tote bag or something. I mean, it's fun, it's colorful, it's, you know, not serious. I really want some of that wash to show through underneath, so that's why I'm just kind of like splish splashing, slip slapping my paint on. Get a little bit more of that. I just love the way the feathers lay down on birds, especially like this where they've got so many vibrant colors, where the feathers are so diverse. Very pretty. I just love to paint birds anyway. I don't know what it is about birds. I like birds and flowers. Those are probably like two of my favorites. I like to do portraits too occasionally, but I really like to paint birds and flowers a lot. And then I'm like, oh, people getting sick of birds and flowers. You know, it's like, you know, I'm trying to think of what I'm going to paint. It's like, oh, shoot, I just did one of those. Or it's like, darn it, I did a flower 2 days ago. I need to do something else. All right, and need a little something on the bottoms of the feet. I'm just going to do the burnt sienna. Because honestly, the feet don't stand out too much, but I want there to be like this solid support for the bird. I want a little shadow. I'm just going to mix some of my, what do you call it? Some of my sludge together. You know what? I'll clean up this palette, this pan right here, because I've stabbed into that a few times with a dirty brush. So let's clean that up while we're at it. You know, we could also clean up the crimson while we're at it, because that's got a little purple hue going on there. Eventually you clean up all your colors and you make a nice neutral shadow color. I don't want to say mud, because it's only mud if you don't want it, if it's not what you want. If it is what you want, it's a shadow color. It's a neutralized shadow color. Alright, I do want a few more like sparks of yellow. Ooh, I feel like that needs a better rinse. I like these brushes. They're from a shop in Australia, so they might be difficult to find outside of Australia, but I do know that Australians have a tough time finding supplies, so I'm glad that they have this available. If you are outside of Australia and these are difficult for you to obtain, they're like Da Vinci makes a similar brush. I think Princeton does too. The Menta from Royal Langnickel, their watercolor brushes are nice, but they're a little softer. This one, this is a, I think it's a faux squirrel, but it's not, or no, it's probably more like a faux Kollinski because it's a little snappier, and like faux squirrels are a little bit softer. So, this is definitely like Taklon, Revolution Taklon. So it does have a mix of sizes of the synthetic bristles that make it act a little bit more like your typical. I'm taking a little bit of that red and mixing it with some of that gamboge color. So it makes it act a little bit more like a typical Kollinski sable, which is a little bit snappier than the squirrel. So use whatever you like. If you take that kind of cool red and you add a little gamboge to it, you get more of a true, like, pure red. And I'm going to use that just to kind of really get that red, get that iconic comb and wattle red color. There. Kind of like that. I want a little bit of a plum because I am seeing some kind of like pale kind of plum tones. I think I will grab a little bit of the cobalt teal because it's a little bit more opaque, and then grab my crimson because you can see that's a little milky. It's because that pigment is more granular, more sedimentary, and it tends to sit on top of the paper. So that's going to work out for me. I just want to warm it up enough to a like kind of a dusty rose, dusty mauve color, and then we're gonna just add a little bit to the back where I'm seeing that beautiful plum. It's very muted, but I feel like it bridges some of those colors because some of the colors are pretty intense and screaming in your face, and I feel like that's just gonna bridge it a little bit better. And I can fill in areas if it feels a little bald. I can use that for shading on the yellow as well because it's kind of purple. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you didn't mind the hammering too much. There's really nothing I can do about it. The contractors on that job get paid more than I do, so I can't stop them from working so I can work. All right. I think for final touch, I'm just going to grab a white gel pen. I'm going to give this a real quick blast with my heat tool just so that I can make sure my gel pen will stick. But that's pretty much it. And the gel pen I like to use is the Uniball Signo Broad. There's also a fine tip one. I prefer the broad. I just feel like it's more consistent and it's definitely fine enough for any like highlights I want to put on my watercolor. The other one I like, and I don't have it right in front of me, but it's the Posca white paint pen. I like that one too. And if you can't get either of those, like the number 10 or number 8, I prefer the 10. Jelly Roll can be found in pretty much any craft store in the United States anyway. I'm not sure about other places, but you can find the Jelly Rolls in craft stores, so that's nice. I want to get around the ear, just kind of dot around the ear because they kind of have that's like a little bit of feather fluff that they've got. I want to get just a little bit of detail for the eye, just to give them a little attitude, give them a little shine on the beak, a little bit of I'm just going to tap on a little bit of shine on the wattle. I'm going to tap on a little shine on the comb. And just tap a little bit more in here just to help it come to life a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of lining on the feathers here. Now, of course, you could have masked it. You could scrape in while the paint is damp and get back to the white of the paper that way. You can do this however you want to do it. This is just how I'm choosing to do it. Remember, I didn't go in with a pencil or anything beforehand, so I was pretty much just kind of flying by the seat of my pants today because I didn't even know if this tutorial was going to happen. But I'm glad it did because this was a lot of fun. It was a nice little break from my day. I'm going to go take the dog for another walk in a minute because she's kind of freaking out with all the noises. And anytime I go to the closet to put something away, she comes running out thinking that she's going for another walk. So I think I will treat her to another walk, and then everyone will be super happy. All right, and I also just, I don't know, this is fun. It's fun to sketch. You know, it's fun just to add these sketchy lines. You don't have to do it. Maybe I'll regret it. I don't know. But right now, I feel like I want to do it. That's what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want to do. As always, you do you. I want to thank you so much for watching. This was fun. I actually like the way this came out. And what do you think? You can let me know in the comments below. Please give me a thumbs up if you like these painting tutorials so I know whether they're worth making or not, because some weeks it's just kind of crazy. So it's like, I hope people like these, or if they don't, well, maybe they'll let me know and then I'll take the day off. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll put links to everything down below so you can find them. Until next time, happy crafting.